Big Ten women's soccer semifinal number 1. Your top seed Penn State, your 5th seed Illinois. Zeros here through the first half of our first game. And welcome you back inside. Dean Linke along with Kate Markgraf. And Kate, early on it was Illinois, but the last 30 minutes it was all Penn State.
Illinois was able to create some moments where they were dangerous, but they were all from distance. Only a goalkeeper error created their first real chance. But after that, Penn State's midfield started to take this game over and execute their game plan, which is all about finding and exploiting spaces on the width after going central first. So you can see why Penn State is the #1 team in the conference.
We roll to the highlights, and you'll see Illinois. They had 5 shots in the first 15 minutes.
And it all starts from a little bit of interplay. This one coming from Silber, finding up top, up, back, and through. And this is one of those long-range shots that we were talking about, and just unable to connect. Now, this is the goalkeeper error that I was talking about. Dennis comes out, doesn't get it, but the quick thinking play of Murray almost creates an opportunity. She just was too far wide and didn't have the angle to slip that one in.
Then Penn State settled down, and they had 9 shots to none in the final 30 minutes.
Just look at their ability to spring the ball around quickly. It allows Illinois to just all of a sudden pack the back, which creating all the gaps on the flank, and it's chance after chance. Shiva, so active, loves to get in line, loves to take people on, and here she's going to go take Barker on, and one of the best crosses she had in the game almost is able to connect in a dangerous spot to Moyer.
Trisha George with the clearance there. 10 shots for Penn State, 5 for Illinois. At one point, it was 5-1 Illinois.
Illinois did come out strong. They do have areas where they can grow in confidence, but they need to be better individually defending so they can stop Penn State from getting so many opportunities. And as so far, Cunningham in goal has come up big for Illinois when they need, but they need to stop exposing her so much.
Last time these two teams met in the Big Ten tournament was 2015. Penn State won that game, and they won a national championship. Zeros here at the half from Grand Park. Semifinal number 1, Penn State and Illinois. Semifinal Friday on the Big Ten Network. A big day of action, all sports on BTN. It starts with this soccer match between the #1 seed Penn State Nittany Lions and your #5 seed Illinois Fighting Illini. Westfield, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis, the great Grand Park, our host once again. If you're the #1 team, there's no surprise that when you look at the Meyer Season Awards, there's going to be a lot of Penn State Nittany Lion flavor for sure.
And once again, they're dominating the entire award book. Dombach, no surprise that she's there, especially with her reduced roster, what she's been able to do. Devin Kirk coming up big for Ohio State. Rio, one of the best lockdown defenders in the Big Ten, getting a nod this year. And then Emily Ogle, U.S. international, good on both sides of the ball. And then April Bakken stepping up big for the Gophers. You'll see her later on today, leading goal scorer. And McClellan, freshman of the year, taking over after the impressive Casey Murphy.
Yeah, big-time job for Megan McClellan. A lot of great freshman goalkeepers in the league as well. That's our Meyer Season Awards. 3 Nittany Lions in there. Will one of them score a goal when we come back? It's zeros at the half. A little bit of wind out here at Grand Park. Stay with us on BTN. Soccer on BTN is brought to you by Discover Card, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference. By Bayer, proud sponsor of the Big Ten Conference. Bayer, science for a better life. And by Dr. Pepper and its local Dr. Pepper bottlers, proud sponsors of the Big Ten Conference. Dr. Pepper, the official drink of fans. Speaking of Dr. Pepper, let's have our Dr. Pepper look right at the 2018 Women's Soccer Championship. Only the top 8 seeds get in. All the games were tight, Kate.
They were in the #6 versus 7 game, the 2 remaining seeds, lowest seeds in the semifinals. That is an evenly matched game that's coming up next. I'm excited to see how important set pieces are in that game. And this one, we have the 2 highest scoring offenses in Penn State and Illinois fighting out in the first semifinal.
State has not scored yet, but they have outscored opponents 23-1 in the second half and have not allowed a second half goal in their last 16 games. In fact, their last second half goal they allowed was versus UCLA back on August 25th. And there's that energy and enthusiasm, the dancing for the Illini. They're going to need more of that to get back in this one.
That is just unreal in a positive way. It's one of those things when that's on your team, when that's your bench, you look over and you smile and it kind of releases some pressure. So it's such a great attribute that everyone's contributing in their way, in their own way, including crutches. As an opponent, if I would see that, I'd be like, I just want to crush that team. Like, come on, let's go. It actually motivated me both ways. So it's a way that just adds a little bit of extra intensity into the game.
That's such a great point. Last year during the Big Ten Women's Lacrosse Championship, Penn State was scoring all kinds of goals, and they had a different celebration for every goal. And you can bet going into their next game, their opponent knew what was going on over there, and they minimized the creativity, to say the least. It's fun, though, when the student athletes get to...
It's competitiveness. It's just different. It's different ways to fire your team up or help your team in whatever way possible. There's nothing better than a fun bench. Just brings some levity to the situation when needed, or gives you that extra little bit of push when you're lagging.
Second half underway. Penn State in white, your #1 seed. Illinois in blue, your #5 seed. Kate Markgraf, I'm Dean Linke. Delighted to be with you for 2 today on Semifinal Friday. Talia Ferry dropped back. Dangerous. Williams, but right to Cunningham. Just could not get any power on it.
We can see Schnurr back in the lineup. Talia Ferry's out on the left. We saw that pay dividends when Schnurr came in. That's when Penn State was able to hold the ball and be more dangerous.
There's that stat we just talked about. Outscoring opponents 23-1 in the second half this season. Have not given up a second half goal since August against the Bruins. Popped in, no problem though for Dennis, as you saw those first half highlights. Just one shaky moment from Dennis, but her teammates were there to help clear up the dangerous opportunity from Katie Murray. Ortega Jurado, second team all Big Ten. Schnurr, who had it for a moment. Jenna Silver made the all Big Ten freshman team. Talaferri, who started up top, and as Kate told you, the first half moved out wide and was effective out wide. Combination with Jean.
Just so good in tight spaces. Right there, they figured out a way to handle the press through some quick passes, a give and go, without ever losing their composure. They weren't able to get anything on the byproduct and pass it into the next channel from the midfield to the forward channel. But that's that composure that Talia Ferry has, whether she's playing up top as the central striker or out wide.
Penn State down near the right corner. Talia Ferry push it back out. Chance to get it inside the 6. And there's Cunningham. Cunningham booms it long. Turn, trying to find Schnurr and Williams. Real battle with the two front runners, Mayday and Silver. Mayday a junior, Silver a freshman. Illinois, more of the possession. Halftime talk from Janet Rayfield, the head coach for the Illini, a true advocate for women in the game. Janet Rayfield, for sure, big advocate for NWSL, big advocate for United Soccer Coaches. Back in 2012, Janet Rayfield, the head coach of Illinois, became the first woman to receive the prestigious United Soccer Coaches Honor Award given for integrity on and off the field. A phenomenal advocate, as you know, Kate, for women in sports. First woman to receive that prestigious award.
Just a pure mentor.
Ball dropped in. Williams! And a sliding tackle. Williams stays with it. Little move. Williams will drop it back to Taliaferri. And Williams so close. Alicia Barker, second team all Big Ten, comes flying in to save the day for the Illini. Moyer will reset it with Nolf. Schnurr is just outside the 6 as Shiva will try to find it. And a big save here coming from Barker.
And last-ditch defending saves an excellent goal-scoring opportunity from being converted. Williams not able to unleash it quick enough, wanted to bring it down, allowed Barker enough time to get something on that. But look at the numbers that just came back, and now we're back in that bunker for the Illini, and it's a matter of Penn State figuring out the right way to break it down. They are able to drop numbers so quickly and cover up gaps that are exposed and seem so fast that Penn State needs to play quicker.
Ogle, Taliaferri this time gets by Barker. It was Barker the first time, then Ashley Cathro, the Canadian freshman, who came in to save the day against Williams. Taliaferri denied again. And you can no longer call it just 3 in the back, as we were talking about at break, as Illinois dropping a lot of numbers back to try to contain this attack from the Penn State Nittany Lions.
And they've made some changes, too. They brought in Busher in at right back and pushing George up in that right side where Hillman was. So they're hoping that a little bit more mobility up and down that vertical flank might prevent so many opportunities coming from those wide channels.
Ogle drops it. It's Williams. Pretty good pass. Far side. Shiva. And right to Cunningham. It was Shiva who had the winner late against Michigan to advance to this game.
And this is called the change of point ball. Came from the left channel, now central, now wide, due to Ogle to Williams to Shiva. Shiva unable to really keep it low and test the goalkeeper. That was actually the perfect angle by Cunningham to take, and Shiva hit it right into her hands. We get to see the danger when you play a 3-back, how dangerous that change of point ball can be.
Moyer doesn't take a ton of shots. She does have 3 goals and 6 assists. As Moyer pushing more forward. Ogle dropping back. Taliaferri. Battle there with George, and George will clear it. Scored both goals during the regular season, including the game winner in the 91st minute did Taliaferri to beat Illinois. Here's Jean. Good move on George. George sliding tackle. I haven't heard a whistle. That was interesting right there. There's no real urgency to go track down the ball. And one back here by Penn State. Illinois has now gone over 30 minutes without a shot. And Ellie Jean, redshirt junior from Connecticut.
And Ellie Jean taking an advanced position, does the cut and trying to beat George, and you get to see her right foot plant, and with that soft ground, it looks like her ankle rolled. Immediately grabs that right-hand side as she was planting to unleash across. We get to see it right. Watch this right foot step, her plant foot. You see it give out a little bit, roll over her cleat. I see it once and I close my eyes and call the game because I know that pain. That happens from a soft ground.
It's one of those rolls where you can run it off the first time. If it happens again, you may not be able to do it.
Yeah, it's one of those rolling, when you roll your ankle, you're going to be able to play through it. And then after the game, that thing is going to be throbbing and swelling. And then it's a matter of rest, ice, compression, elevation that they always tell you. But it's part of the game. It happens all the time. But it doesn't mean that first 10 seconds might be the worst pain you've ever experienced. And then it slowly dissipates.
Yeah, she's playing in pain right now. You know it. But she's been so effective. I like the fact that she got up and is ready to go. She's going to try to walk it off. There, that's a great shot here. Great work, as always, by Billy Proctor and our entire BTN crew. The championship weekend on the Big Ten Network. Delighted to be with you for the first of several elimination games this Friday.
And now if I'm Illinois, I'm going to be attacking her all game long, thinking that she might be a little bit weak and might be exposed and not as explosive as one of the quickest backs that Penn State has. I like that George has that mentality to take it at her. It's a smart play.
Work there from Illinois, just the final pass missing, trying to get Silver right down the spine. Illini. Mayday. Busy in the first 15. Silver. She'll give it away. Ogle. Good ball from Ogle to find Schnurr. Taliaferri has moved back to that number 9 position. Whistle and a foul. Not a ton of fouls in this one. Fairly clean.
And Silver likes to bring the ball back every time. Just getting caught up there from behind, nicking too much of the foot, getting Ogle.
You see the fouls, just 5 fouls in the game. 4 for Illinois, 1 for Penn State. Barker and Cathro pretty much saving the day as Shar Williams was in and open, ready to give a 1-0 lead. A break day from Mayday. Oh my. What a great right-handed save there by Amanda Dennis. Kelly Mayday was in, denied by 0-0.
Mayday sitting in between 2 defenders, a beautiful ball placed right between them. Unable to keep it low by Mayday. Dennis, big, wide wingspan and a strong enough hand. Yeah, she's in the right position, but the fact that her hand was so strong that that wrist did not give way and allow that ball to continue its forward path and perhaps dribble in. But that is the first shot since the 20th minute from Illinois. We get to see how they can be dangerous on the transition, especially Mayday, the one that likes to get in behind with Silver, the one that is more the back to goal defend forward, able to hold the ball and push it back and bring others into the game.
How about that? 36 minutes without a shot, and Mayday had a clear shot as anybody in this game, if not for, as you said, the strong hand of Dennis just to deaden that ball and keep it at zeros.
And that's the second foul on Silver in the past 4 minutes. Something to watch if she continues to foul, whether that's frustration or increased intensity. But if those fouls continue to accumulate, the referee's going to have to pull out a card. Just an excellent through ball by Murray. So good, put a little texture. You see the bend, it runs into the path of Mayday. Mayday does not keep it low, but Dennis comes out enough from her goal line, able to cut down the angles of opportunity for Mayday to slot it by her advanced positioning, and then to have the strong wrist to withstand the power of that save and have the ball continue to move forward towards the goal.
2 saves today for Amanda Dennis. Rose Chandler, like Laura Freigang, decided to go pro, and Amanda Dennis had played a ton, though, because Rose Chandler was on that U20 team. So a couple years ago, Dennis played all of those minutes, so certainly they were in good shape in goalkeeper, as Erica Dombach dealing with her smallest roster yet, but a roster that she loves. And she talks about how the fact that the roster really kind of personifies the family atmosphere at Penn State. She's got 2 young daughters now. She said her daughters have 23 amazing role models. She said there's not every mom that has that, as you know, I mean, you played with Carla Overbeck. She had her daughter early, and she still talks about the incredible role models for Jackson.
And I had 3 kids while I still played. I had a set of twins and a 2-year-old when I retired.
Shot from Illinois and another save by Dennis. And here come the Illini. And Dennis has been strong as Illinois with a nice response. Once again, it's Katie Murray, the senior from Cincinnati.
Save number 00, Amanda Dennis.
Whipped away there by George. Clean back up, though, by Penn State. Adjustments at halftime from Janet Rayfield have been big. Illinois, 3rd breakaway, and Dennis with her 3rd save. Illinois has brought it here in the 2nd half as Peyton Willie off the bench, denied there by Dennis.
Illinois creating opportunities off of transition and defensive pressing from their offensive core. We get to see Murray coming out so crafty and quick and explosive in that quick release shot. This time playing the perfectly weighted ball. Well done by Willie to realize she had to hit that one time. But Dennis, again, coming up huge off that line when she knows her defense is beat. She has to reduce the angles that they have to score and make it more difficult to slot it into narrow options.
Sent across. Willie there again, and Katie Murray trying to take over this game. The senior from Cincinnati, Ohio. You think about great Big Ten players from Cincinnati, Ohio, and you think Rose Lavelle from the Wisconsin Badgers.
Heather Mitz.
Heather Mitz is pretty good.
Ohio South, one of the best regions in soccer, along with Michigan.
Boy, Rose Lavelle is on fire right now, scoring 3 goals in the CONCACAF qualifying as the USA punched their ticket to yet another World Cup.
If the U.S. is going to win a World Cup, Rose Lavelle and Crystal Dunn need to be healthy. They're the 2 players that can break down tight spaces and bunkers with either craftiness or just that X factor you can't describe. It's someone who always just figures out a way to win.
There's Dubs with the great run. Mayday had that big shot. Katie Murray with a shot and the pass, trying to find the substitute, Peyton Willie, the freshman from Yorkville, Illinois, and Yorkville High School. And they look for Willie again. This time Rio heads it away. Illinois' confidence has turned the table. Katie Murray has been the reason why. And there's that midfield pressure. They win it right back. Illinois basically saying, yeah, I saw that stat, 23-1. Penn State scoring in the 2nd half, but they're ready. Nice response. Good coaching here from Janet Rayfield.
This is a team that has to learn how to build up without some key stars, which allowed other players to take more responsibility, like a Murray. That's something that she talked about. Like up top, having Mayday play a bigger role along with Maroney. They were relying on some of the bigger name players to carry them through, and basically Rayfield said, hey, you guys are got to be the ones to step up, and they have. But that means they also know how to withstand these moments. They had a good campaign in the Big Ten, but they were definitely challenged, which has prepared them to withstand the moments and the long stretches of time when they've been on the back foot in this game.
Their 11 regular season wins, most since 2011, as they find themselves back in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. Illinois 11-7-1. They have a top 25 win over Duke. And they've got 3 wins or ties over top 50 teams as they look for Schnurr. Schnurr could drop over to Ogle. Williams gets behind it and right again to Cunningham.
And Schnurr, unable to finish that one time, cuts it back, finds Ogle, realizing she didn't have a good look on net, drops it to Williams, who steps backwards to get her feet right and to generate enough power on goal. It's the 3rd shot we've seen from Williams. Every single time she's falling, you wonder if something's wrong with the ground or if she's just a bit off balance and rushing her shot.
Shiva will chase it down. Cunningham has made her 6th save of the game. Of course, she made 3 saves and penalty kicks to help Illinois advance to this matchup. Here's Penn State. Under pressure quite a bit here in the second half from Illinois, but now it's Penn State back on the attack. Good quick touches by the Nittany Lions. Off those touches, they look to get it inside the 18 to Schnurr. It bounces back. Williams again. Here's Jean. Jean had the assist against Michigan to push Penn State into this matchup. Of course, it was Jean who rolled her ankle a little over 10 minutes ago. Looks to be okay for Erica Dombach and the Penn State Nittany Lions. The speedster, number 14, Ellie Jean.
Substitution for Illinois, number 27, Maggie Hillman, replacing number 7, Peyton Willie.
So Peyton Willie had a chance to break through. She'll go back to the bench. Dubs cleared out of there by Barker, the second team all Big Tenner. Swing and a miss from George. First big run here in the second half from Nolf. A couple step overs. Moyer. Now Rio. Both center backs pushing forward with the outside backs. Here's the left back, Jean. Once again, gobbled up by Cunningham, who, by the way, had 10 saves versus Penn State back in September of this year. Actually last year, that's her career high. So 10 saves, her career high against Penn State a year ago. Shiva. Dubs making a run. Drops it back to Williams. Usually Ogle is lurking over her shoulder. Shiva earning a throw in. So the wind's starting to pick up just a little bit here at Grand Park.
Substitution for the Nittany Lions, number 33. Laura Suero.
See Laura Suero check into the game. Number 33, the junior from Royersford, Pennsylvania. Part of the FC Bucks Freedom Club system coming up. Jean. Now Dubs. Oh, an own goal. Just like that. An own goal off of Alicia Barker, the junior from Woodinville, Washington. And finally, Penn State able to crack through via an own goal. It's 1-0.
Penn State's was creating opportunities from getting it wide and serving it in, looking to find one of their forwards or midfielders up top, but this time that service and Barker's movement makes it impossible for her to get her feet right. That's one of those bending balls in behind the defender. You play that ball in hopes of two things. One, your forward can get on top of it, or two, the defender who is now facing their own goal will take a nick on it and deflect it into their goal, creating what we just saw right there. That's the reason why you play those driven balls in behind or those bending balls in behind the back line, because you turn that defense and it puts the defender in a horrible position, and it's so difficult to clear those balls.
Oh, and you feel horrible for Alicia Barker. Janet Rayfield calls her the tent pole, holds it all together back there. Second team all Big Ten. Just an unfortunate touch. And it's 1-0 Penn State. Now Penn State, they were able to survive that early flurry here in the second half from Illinois, who came out with a great game plan, working through Katie Murray. They get the own goal. Now searching for that second. Shiva able to cross. Dubs is there. And it'll go off of Dubs. No, they'll say off of George. Corner kick, Penn State.
Dubs didn't start the second half after a poor start in the first half, but she's making her impact and her influence grow in this game. She's the one that hit that service, that created the own goal, and that one she goes up for the head ball and heads it into the back of George and earns her team a corner kick.
Sixth corner of the game for Emily Ogle and Penn State. That is a perfect ball. Cunningham, first save, still loose. What a driven ball from Ogle right at the top of the 6. Yeah, Penn State pretty good when scoring first. 107-3-5. They're 75-0-5 in their last 80 games. Their last loss when they scored first back in 2013 at Nebraska. And by the way, they're 11-0 when they score first as part of this 2018 campaign, a campaign that saw Penn State win yet another regular season title. Dubs back to Ogle. And now Jean. You know this game is going to have to open up now as Illinois is going to be searching. Meanwhile, Penn State can manage a lead as good as any team in the country. By the way, it's their 19th time they've won the Big Ten regular season title, this year's title, all alone. They've won the Big Ten tournament 7 times last year right here at Grand Park. Talia Ferry going to come on for Schnurr. Ogle's last corner kick was perfect. So get another one. Goes near post this time. Shiva. Knopf will bring it back to Rio. Good step in from Rio. Ortega Jurado. Talia Ferry. Picked up by Cunningham. Talked about it earlier. Illinois, we feel like where their RPI sits, quality wins against some top 50 teams, including the Duke Blue Devils. I think they should be there, Kate. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
I would agree with you. I think they have an argument that they should be in it. And they get into the semis. And they don't have any bad losses. And that, to me, is more that metric. Is there ever a game where you're like, ooh, that was a really bad loss? Because that's what those fine details, especially for those bubble teams, it comes down to, that the NCAA decision committee, tournament committee, likes to hang their hats on. But it really is, when it comes to the bubble teams, sometimes you can't figure it out, why one team gets in and another one doesn't.
A lot of nerves as they announce the field. Illinois trying to get that equalizer. You know Penn State will be there. Rutgers, impressive RPI. You got to believe they're going to be there. Wisconsin and Ohio State. Wisconsin 12-3-4. They have 4 wins over teams in the top 50 RPI. Lori Walker Hawks, Ohio State Hawkeye team. They got 5 wins or ties over top 50 teams. As you start to kind of look at the magic formula. Nebraska, Coach Walker pretty much saying, you know what, the only math I know is winning the Big Ten tournament. And I think Stephanie Golan felt like the same thing. Played into space. Shiva right to Cunningham.
Well, for Nebraska and Minnesota, they have to win to really get into this. They're both on the farther side of the bubble compared to Illinois and Ohio State, which will make that game so exciting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. They did not play during the regular season as well, so it'll be the first time they see each other this year. I always like that when it plays off in the Big Ten tournament. And then what about the Northwestern Wildcats? Not able to make the Big Ten tournament. They're 10-4-4. They got wins over West Virginia and Penn State. Gonna be tough. 2 wins over top 25 teams and 5 wins over top 50 teams for Northwestern. But remember, only 8 teams get in the Big Ten tournament, and Michigan sneaking in there.
It also matters how you finish, though, too, right? Like, are you finishing strong? Are you getting those wins over top RPI opponents earlier on in the season? Because part of the formula of winning this thing is how you're playing towards the end, what momentum, what luck you have, and that comes from injuries. And if you don't have any towards the end.
Yeah, great point as Dubs was instrumental in that own goal, the only goal of this one. Dennis comes out. Safety first there from Penn State, and an Illinois player down. Let's see if Penn State elects to knock it out of bounds. Finally, the referee with the whistle. The collision right at the top there. Kelly Mayday with Amanda Dennis.
And Mayday is challenging the keeper, and she's unable. She's trying to get to the ball, and she's unable to slow herself down. Dennis was caught. Not sure if she's going to come out and clear it. It was an excellent decision by Schwero to clear the ball, realizing that our goalkeeper might not get it. And it's just one of those collisions that happens unintentionally in a game when teams are going for the ball. Mayday didn't lay up, and there was no way that Dennis could avoid that.
During the injury, the Penn State Nittany Lions huddle, Mayday has left it all out there from the opening whistle. She has been dangerous, 4 goals and 3 assists. Alicia Barker went off of her foot inadvertently in the back of the net. As Mayday still shaking off the cobwebs. I'm glad you pointed out Schwero, because Schwero made that run back for Penn State, and perhaps without her, Dennis was a little bit in no man's land. She took a step out of the 18, and Schwero's like, I better just go ahead and slide tackle this just in the nick of time. Yeah.
It was smart. As you're a defender and you're not quite sure if your goalie can get to it, you will sacrifice what was the intended play and lay your body out on the line to clear it out of danger. It was the right call by her to do that.
Talia Ferry squares it open far side. There's a perfect pass to Moyer, and once again coming all the way back, the Illini denying Penn State. You keep this at 1-0, anything can happen. Plenty of time for Illinois. Great run by Veland, number 23. Dubs. So Illinois, when they win it, they have to keep possession and give it right back to Penn State. From Illinois, they play it forward. They need to hold and goal. That's exactly what they're doing. And the pass goes missing, though, on the left side. Illinois got that Janet Rayfield mentality. They've got 3 goals in the final 15 minutes of regulation this season, so that's where we are. They've shown the ability to score late, keep their team alive. There's Janet Rayfield, one of the legends. 23 overall seasons, was at Arkansas. In fact, Stephanie Golan talking about the fact she's coming up, the head coach of Minnesota. She went to a camp coached by Janet Rayfield and Marcia McDermott at Arkansas early on before she decided to go to Duke.
But then what did she say? She's like, don't tell them that, because they may think that they're old then. And I was like, they know it's okay. We're all okay with it. Go on. We're good.
Played by Barker. Well, the woes of being a center back, because I feel like the center backs have been amazing. We saw Barker make a sliding tackle to save a goal. Ashley Cathro make a sliding tackle. Veland came back to save one, and then sure enough, it goes off of a center back inadvertently for the only goal of the game, Kate.
And it's more heartbreaking if that was the only opportunity that Penn State would created. But the fact of the matter is that they've created tons of opportunities, essentially against a back line as well as midfield that is now bunkering in for Illinois. So as heartbreaking it is to give up a goal in that capacity, give credit to the fact that Penn State was so dangerous that they created that to happen. And that's an incredibly technical service to pull off, to keep it away from the goalkeeper and get it in behind the back line. You have to thread that needle, and Dubs did that, and she was rewarded for it.
Excellent point. Penn State dominant on the stat sheet, particularly for the final 30 minutes of the first half, and part of the second half. Illinois had a little bit back, and in fact 3 breakaways. Dennis comes up big, which is what you want your goalkeeper. Make 2 or 3 big saves per half, and she did it. Lena Ortega-Jurado, she may have hurt her arm or her wrist.
Jurado's been asked to play a little bit more central, a little bit higher up and centrally, and you see her immediately grab that arm when she's going up to block the long ball. And again, also in this cold, when you do get drilled with the ball, it does take that extra bit out of you. It hurts even more, and it stings the entire time. But thankfully, it is just an arm. Don't really need it running around. Just stretch it out a little bit, you're good to go.
She's going to shake it off. Second team all Big Ten. Dennis going to take her time, try to manage this game and put Penn State right back in another Big Ten tournament championship game. They were there a year ago. Dennis, pressure there from those front 2. And Illinois showing the fight. That was Hope Breslin, number 10, all over Dennis. Hope Breslin calling for it. Can George get it to her? There'll be a throw-in for Illinois.
And Dennis has been taking advanced position the entire time. That one too cavalier to realize the pressure that was coming upon her, and Breslin almost catches her.
Oh, Breslin, have not said her name as much as I thought we were gonna. 5 goals and 3 assists.
Breslin is coming out off that forward line, and you get to see it awkwardly hit her face, but that would not be a handball because she's trying to protect her face, right? This isn't, yes, it's in an awkward position, but to me, I get why someone does that, because they're about ready to get hit by the face, hit in the face, and it's a subjective call by the referee whether or not to award that to the other team. I think it was a right non-call by the referee.
Excellent explanation from Kate Markgraf. Silver. Back to Katie Murray. Rio. Now George. 50-50 ball. That was Veland. Silver will drop it back. So you almost wonder if Janet Rayfield brought in a sub for Breslin just to get a message across, move some players around. I wouldn't be surprised if you see Breslin back in there in the final 5 minutes to try to get the equalizer. Part of managing a soccer game where you can't really do as much coaching right and call timeouts and direct plays. George. Lion Eye showing some fight here. Ortega-Jurado's making a run. She's over on the left side. They go right side. turnover. It's Casey Ballo back into the game. Good minutes in the first half. Now on for Erica Dombach. Silber. Good old-fashioned number 9 up top. Freshman from Crystal Lake, Illinois. He's got 5 goals. Illinois wouldn't mind her getting 6 to tie this one up. There she is. Can she turn with it? Well defended by Penn State. Risher sent it in. Player goes down in the 18. Referee waves it off. And a lot of Illini fans here not liking the non-call. Now a whistle to tend to another player down in the 18. It was number 18, Morgan Maroney, who went down. I didn't see what happened, Kate.
Well, this wasn't around the ball. This is an off the ball infraction. You see Maroney at the top of her box, and she knocks heads with Real and immediately goes down. That was not intentional by Real. Head to head. Just a bit of a cut, it looks like, if that is what the trainer is. Yeah, cut her face open a little bit.
Away from the ball, was turning, ran right into the head of Rio, and part of those M&M midfielders. Morgan Maroney, the senior from Castle Rock. Take one more look.
You get to see Rio, the center back, coming over, trying to transition, and Maroney and her, it looks like it either hit, I think she hits Rio's chin and opens up her face just a little bit. A nice little extra color on there. Has to come out. Can't have blood anywhere on your body or be bleeding to stay in a game for health reasons.
It's the Big Ten Defender of the Year, Rio, colliding there with Maroney. So it'll be Lauren Ciesla, a senior from Naperville, Illinois, who will come on at least until they can deal with blood on the face of Maroney. Shiva coming back into the game as well.
Casey Ballo.
2018 Big Ten Women's Soccer Tournament on the Big Ten Network. Semifinal Friday. Semifinal number 1 between the regular season champs Penn State, number 5 seed Illinois. We've got Minnesota and Nebraska. Those two teams going on the road and getting big wins. Nebraska at Ohio State, Minnesota at Rutgers. That's coming up. 7 seed Minnesota, 6 seed Nebraska. What's up, Jim? Breslin, remember we said she would come back in with at least 5 minutes remaining. She's in there at 7:30. So the game tying goal in the second half versus Wisconsin. Forcing that one to PKs where it was the Jalen Cunningham show. Cunningham looking long, trying to find Breslin. They're going to move Breslin more central, see if she can't combine with Silver. Good target players.
Especially because they'll start to launch the ball longer. Bypass that midfield with a long ball, get it in their attacking end, and hope to either pick up that first or second ball. It's going to be critical for other players like Murray to get underneath. Mayday if she's around the ball with quick little buzzing speed. With incredible engines, they still have enough in their legs to keep going and try to find that ball.
Make no mistake, Illinois has found the ball in and around the 6, and if not for the outstanding work of Dennis in goal, this game would be tied, or in fact even Illinois could have a lead. I mean, Penn State double dipping them on shots, but Illinois has had some clear breakaway opportunities, and Dennis came up big with that right hand. Silber. Drop it to Mayday. Mayday looking up. Cathro has made a run. The left back, number 33. A little touch there from Murray. Katie Murray. Into Silber. 4 white jerseys around her, though. Taliaferri scored both goals during the regular season, but she's been held in check by the Illini in this one.
But she's still been impactful when she's getting the ball, especially out wide. She is setting up others. She also can hold onto the ball and create possession in tight moments. So instead of just kicking the ball along to bypass pressure, her and Ellie Jean have been able to combine in the second half and build the ball on the flank area.
Ortega Hirata, who is pushed up here. Jean. Taliaferri. Open to earn a corner kick, and I think she'll say no. Off of Taliaferri. Has been pushed out wide. You know, earlier we were talking about all these teams in the Big Ten hoping to get a shot at the NCAA tournament, and I'll tell you what, the teams have been so tight, and it's been reflected in the tournament. This is the first game of the tournament that hasn't been tied with 5 minutes remaining in the game through the first 4 games, and Penn State with that narrow lead, 1-0. Of course, Penn State scoring with just over a minute remaining against the Michigan Wolverines. Jean DeShiva to get to this point. Illinois has got 3 minutes and 45 seconds to tie it. Barker. Murray and Maroney hope to combine. Breslin trying to find Silber. That's a foul. And that will not make Erica Dombach happy because it stops the clock. Caitlin Fisher took the brunt of that foul, the freshman from Naperville, Illinois. So a yellow card as well. The clock is stopped.
Probably the only foul today we've seen where someone has no intention of going for the ball. Absolutely zero. That is straight. I'm not going to win it, so I'm just going to do a hip check. That's a good call by the referee for relatively a clean game. That's been the one dirty thing we've seen all day.
Seen OJ move up to the midfield, but that foul stopped the clock, gave Illinois a chance to bring everybody forward. Nothing to show for it, and now Dennis will try to make up that time lost. And Dennis came up big when her team needed her, breakaways, and she is the focus of our State Farm State of Success.
And rightfully so. A lot of transition opportunities, created counterattacks, and one in particular, her advanced positioning off her line, able to stop. An excellent opportunity by Mayday with her strong wrist and positioning has kept this game where her team has kept her team in it and allowed her team to get on the board as the victors if the score stands.
Penn State going to try a little bit of that death by possession and work the clock. Head down toward the corner. Shiva not quite ready. Illinois needs to show some urgency here. Just over 2 minutes remaining, and now they'll get it back. Great to have Illinois back, though, in the semifinals. over the years, some big-time players coming out of Illinois. Vanessa DiBernardo, Ella Masser, our own Jackie Santa Catarina.
Nanny.
Mary Therese McDonald, Emily Zur, Nicole Brees. There were some great players, particularly when we first came on the air of the Big Ten Network. As you see right there, respect the past, represent the future. A lot of those players that I just mentioned reflected in those stripes, including number 7 over on the left, Jackie Manny. Loved watching Ella Masser play.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Very spicy.
Played for the Red Stars. Did you play with her on the Red Stars as well?
I did. She worked extremely hard, a true competitor. And Breslin coming in very quick, and this is very similar to the call we saw on the other side and that extra part. But Shiva should get a call for that one too. I'm sorry, that should have been a double card on both of them. Shiva's of course defending her player, but in the rules of the game, that's retribution.
I agree. Yeah, Shiva, forearm.
She's not even involved in the play. Absolutely, Breslin deserved a card right from that. Let the ref deal with it. Shiva letting her player know, letting Breslin know that's not acceptable. And I like that defending of your teammate, but you do that in the run of play. It's part of the game. You can't have someone out there wrecking all your teammates. You have to set a signal as well. Within the confines of the game, that just means going a little bit extra hard for the ball.
I agree, full stop.
That's like the only time we do agree. No, but Illinois, I mean, this is a team that no one thought would be here. We said it in the open, is that they only won 5 games last year. When I was doing the projection of who I thought would be in this tournament, Illinois was not on it based off the summer coming into it. But because they had 11 newcomers and other players step up, especially Murray in that midfield has been so critical, this team is poised for even more success next year.
Yeah, I could tell it was a different team. I saw them against North Carolina to open the season, and they came out and took a 1-0 lead in Chapel Hill, and then went down the road to Durham and knocked off the Duke Blue Devils, and it was on. Their confidence was brewing. Their double-digit wins, and I think the committee's got to pay full attention to this team with some quality players, a great midfield. Love their system as well, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough here. An own goal, and your regular season champs, Erica Dombach, said, we're going for it, want the double, and they're one step closer. Penn State has made it to Championship Sunday with a 1-0 win over Illinois.
Well, Penn State was the class of the competition. Although Illinois did have opportunities on transition, on a whole, Penn State was able to control the game, move the ball, such a technical side that created an opportunity. Even though it was an own goal, it was their continued attempts from service and from the flanks that created the chance and put Illinois in a bad defensive position that they were able to then win off an own goal.
And both goalkeepers has been a familiar theme this year in the Big Ten. There's, well, look at that. It's like the 2 quarterbacks talking after a game. You got to love to see that. Jalen Cunningham and Amanda Dennis. Well-deserved, both of them. Big smiles. Penn State advances to the championship game for the 11th time now as we view our Dr. Pepper tournament look. And the #1 seed awaiting the winner of Nebraska and Minnesota.
Well, no surprise, Penn State is in the championship, and they're going to be playing the victor of Nebraska or Minnesota, both teams that need a win, absolutely, to get themselves off the wrong side of the bubble that they're currently in for postseason play.
Penn State 1 step away from winning their 8th tournament title, and it's their 3rd championship game appearance in the last 4 seasons.
Just speaks to their framework they have built for success.
The 2018 Big Ten Women's Soccer Tournament. The final score, the Penn State
Semi-final Friday on the Big Ten Network. Getting started early here in Westfield, Indiana. Your regular season champ, Penn State, and Illinois ready to go. Our final score, though, Penn State 1, Illinois 0. Coming up next, it's game 2 of the semis, Minnesota and Nebraska. For our producer-director, Billy Proctor, Kate Markgraf, and our entire BTN crew, I'm Dean Linke. We'll be back with more Big Ten soccer from Grant Park.